BJ, I wonder, what do you think when you see Diego when he walks to the ring and he's all pumped up, yelling yes, and you've been around the block a little bit. What do you think of his kind of self-belief, that motivation, what he brings to the ring?
That's his thing. I'm not here to criticize him or anything, but when I see that kind of stuff, I don't think much, of it. That's him. Like I said earlier, he wants to portray himself as the crazy one. I think he's just portraying himself as the weird one, and we're going to find out, which guy's more crazy when we get in the octagon.
Do you think your striking, obviously your Jiu-Jitsu, everybody knows how great it is, but it seems like as good as you are at your striking, maybe people don't give you enough credit for that, and that might be a bigger edge even than your Jiu-Jitsu in this fight.
I think my striking is going to play a big part of a big part in this fight, but I think it's going to play the part, after I start shutting down his takedowns and after I start defending myself, maybe on the ground or different areas, and then when he realizes he doesn't have that to go to, then I think he's going to see a lot of punches coming really quick at him, and it's something I don't think he's prepared for.
He says he's the hungry one here in this fight coming up because he had a couple of difficulties and he dropped down the weight class, and he thinks this is the class that's made for him. How do you see that?
I just came off a loss in January, so I'm still very hungry, and I'm trying to salvage the year out for me. I came off a tough loss in January. I came back and won against Kenny Flory in the middle of the year, and I want to finish this year off good. So, I really feel that he's underestimating me in a lot of areas. He doesn't think I have the conditioning. He doesn't think I'm hungry, and those aren't the kind of things you want to take into a fight. You want to take into a fight thinking that you're going against the best guy.
Ferris was saying before that he was talking about the UFC champions almost looking invincible, and you were the first name that he mentioned, saying at 155 he's seen nobody that really was able to compare to you. Coming from George St. Pierre's trainer, does that mean something to you, the fact that a guy that prepared for you twice and would have that kind of feeling about you?
That's just something Faraz said. I don't really have much admiration for Faraz because of all the stuff we got into, so I'm not going to sit here and criticize him or commend him either way.
Do you feel invincible at 55?
A fight's a fight. Anybody can lose. I don't want to. All I can do is my best. You can't go in too confident and too cocky because anything can happen, and yes, I'm just going to go out there and do my best.
What about your motivation when you enter the octagon? For a fight like this, you've had championship fights, and a fight like this, now your motivation when you walk in there?
My motivation, at first it was about the belt, and I guess every champion, after holding the belt for so long, they start to look for other goals and other belts or whatever you want to call it, and you really want to go down as but they talk about the great boxers in the past, and you want them to talk about when the UFC is very big and everybody is making millions of dollars a fight. You want to be one of those guys, and that they say it's because of him, it's because of guys like this is the reason why we're all making millions.
BJ, you've talked a lot about your legacy in the past. Obviously, this is another huge fight at 155. Do you feel like your legacy will be submitted at lightweight, or have you given up thoughts about ever going back up again?
Of course, you're always in the position right before a big fight that you don't want to think past the fight and you want to think to what's next. But I'm sure I'll fight outside of the lightweight class before my career is done.
BJ, you could run the Boston Marathon and people would probably still say, well, BJ doesn't have good cardio. Is that a question you feel like you're always going to have to answer? Do you feel like this is a great fight for you to answer that question, knowing that Diego does have great cardio?
I definitely... You hit the nail on the head. Sean Sherk's supposed to have great cardio. Kenny Florian's supposed to have great cardio. And you know what? I think it's better for me because I think they're just going to underestimate me. So, the more areas that they think that I lack in, the better it is for me.
Do you really think that, like, going in and, whatever they say, you really don't pay attention and really can't even be bothered with?
No, I pay attention. I listen to what they say, and I don't like a lot of it, but I just gotta go out and beat Diego. If I get there's some things that him saying that I'm going to run, and I'm not going to beat him in the middle and all this stuff. And he was singing that tune early on, but now he's singing a different tune that I'm the greatest, and he just can't wait for a great fight. So, I think he's realizing that, just saying that I'm going to run and me stepping in there and running is two different things.
How satisfying was the Florian win after what happened in January, BJ? Was that just a step, not a step back because you had fought George St. Pierre and you rarely lose, but did you feel you were back after that Florian fight, or do you feel you still want to get a few more to wipe the memory out of that one?
Yeah, I definitely feel that I was back, and I had a little couple personal disputes with Kenny Florian, and it's always good to tell someone I told you so at the end of any competition, I guess. But I feel like I'm back, and I feel like I never left, and that's where my head is.
So you're just going to keep going, and as long as there are challenges in front of you and you knock them off, that's where you'll go? Yeah, definitely. I'm out there for the challenge. I have an obligation to defend the lightweight title, but I want another crack at St. Pierre, of course, and that's about it. That's about it. Do you think you're getting better as a fighter each time out?
I hope I'm getting better. In this game, I'm just trying to stay relevant with all these new kids coming up, and they're so good, and they're training jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and kickboxing from before they're 10 years old, and I'm just trying to keep up with those guys.
For this camp, for the last camp for Florian, you changed your camp a little bit. You trained in California a little bit. For this one, I know you were working with, I think Ben Henderson came in and a couple other guys. Mm-hmm. Anything different? Is it just a matter of, again, evolving with the game and bringing in new people to work with to keep getting better?
Yeah, you always got to bring new people in. I think you can kind of get better on your own, here and there, and then you get to test what you've learned with the new people. New people come in, you bring in jiu-jitsu coaches and wrestling coaches, and they teach you. But, in all honesty, what I got is what I got, and I can add a little stuff here and there. But it's really, I can learn some stuff from the sparring partners, but it's really the coaches that give me those extra inches that I need.
BJ, you mentioned another fight with GSP. What do you think would have to happen for fight fans to be calling for that fight again?
I got to get some big fights, like Brady has won with Diego, and I can't focus on what do I have to do. Number one, I can't focus on what do I have to do to get back there. I got to just keep winning and keep next. Would you rather watch me fight him or the winner of Frankie Edgar or Gray Maynard? So I guess that's just all whatever the fans want to do, want to see, and. I guess when there isn't a contender in the lightweight division, I'm not looking for a welterweight belt. I just gotta. It's more of a personal thing with George St. Pierre, and that's it. I'm not trying to become the champ of both weight classes or anything, and I have an obligation to defend the lightweight title. But if you give me the opportunity to fight him, I'll jump at the chance.
Final thing for me. When you look at it, a lot of times, like coaches will tell their athletes, visualize what you're going to do when you step in the ring or when you step across those lines and get on the court. See yourself sinking the winning shot. See yourself in the third round. That's when you're going to come on strong. What do you have a visualization that you mentally prepare yourself for? How you see this fight will go?
A visualization. I'm just, I see myself. I made great strides in my jiu-jitsu and my wrestling and my punching, so I can actually see myself punching him with a few good punches and hurting him, and if we finish him with strikes or we finish him with a submission, that's just going to be whatever happens after. But I could see myself hitting him and hurting him on Saturday night.
BJ, you talked about that you do pay attention to what your opponents say. Diego always shows a lot of confidence in every fight. Does that give you extra motivation, just to go in there and really prove to this guy that you are the better fighter and maybe knock a little of that confidence off?
It's not about the other fighter. It's about me and myself and pushing myself and proving to myself, where I can get, how good can I possibly be, and that's where I am right now mentally. Diego, what Diego thinks about me is none of my business. I got to go out there,